Welcome to Cherry Blossom Yoga. I'm Robin Dinerman. This is a half-hour Hatha Yoga class for beginning and continuing students. I hope you're wearing loose clothing. You can do your yoga on the floor with a blanket or with a towel, an exercise mat, a yoga mat. In this class, there's no competition, even with yourself. Don't worry about being perfect. Listen to your body and do as much as you feel you can safely. Whenever I start a new session of classes of Hatha Yoga, I always talk to the new students at the beginning and give them an idea of what I expect in the class and what I'm offering them. And basically, I talk about teaching them how to become aware of the body-mind connection, how the mind influences the body, how the body influences the mind, and through the techniques of yoga, the stretching, the poses, the coordinated breathing, one learns how to organize or integrate all the energies that make up their body and to live a more peaceful and productive and harmonious life. Now, I am still working on that. In a recent class, a young woman wanted to drop out. She called a few days after the class had started and wanted her money back because it wasn't what she expected. And it turned out she expected less stretching and more postures. But when I finally spoke with her, it turned out she felt uncomfortable with the older women in the room. And she is a lot younger than most of the people in my classes. So I asked her what was wrong with being with older women. And she said, well, it means you're going to have to teach them and you won't be able to do certain postures like downward dog because the older people can't do that. And I said, but I am teaching them to do downward dog. What I do is I teach at different levels and people do as much as they're able to do. You really need to give the class another try. And furthermore, I'm teaching people at another place where they're in their 60s, 70s, into their 80s. And if they can't do it, they can visualize it in their minds. They can do the arm movements. They, of course, can do the coordinated breathing. And they're still doing yoga. So I encouraged her to come back to class. I don't know whether she will or she won't. But I told her, you're a young woman. Young women can learn a lot from older women. Please join us. We're going to begin with some warm-ups standing, and we will then eventually move down to the floor. So come into Tadasana, the feet hip distance apart or slightly inward. Arms hanging naturally at your sides. Press down through the soles of the feet. Feel yourself connecting with the earth. Feel the length and the strength of your legs. Move into your pelvis and belly, up through the spine all the way to the base of your skull. Travel into your chest, your abdominal organs. And then come back to the shoulders, down the arms all the way to the fingertips, and back up again. And then to the base of your skull. Visualize your entire head, your face, your scalp, and then move inward to your brain. Feel as if the feet are pushing the earth away and the crown of your head is reaching up into the sky. Imagine a center line where the energy travels down when you breathe in and up and out when you breathe out. We're going to begin by simply stepping the feet apart just a little bit and bringing the arms out into T position, one palm up, the other down. I'm going to say which arm I'm using, which will be reverse of where you are. Inhale, bringing one arm up, the other down. Exhale, lean a bit to the side. Inhale back to center, turn the opposite palm up, and as you exhale, lean a bit to the other side. And we're repeating. Inhale center, this is star, and moving right into a side angle pose, exhaling. Inhaling center, and exhaling, leaning and stretching. Now the arm that's over your ear, you want to keep it over the ear or the cheek, and then you want to make sure that your shoulders are not coming forward. Many times I'll see people leaning forward and more forward and more forward, so check yourself if you can. Make sure the shoulders are still above the hips. Come back into star briefly. Release the fingers and the hands and let the arms float down. Now separate your feet a little bit wider. And I have the toes forward. Come back into star position, one palm up, the other one down. Breathe in and out and leaning to the side. This lower arm, you want the shoulder to be heavy, the fingertips to reach to the floor. At the same time, you're keeping the arm over the cheek and the ear. Now lifting up from the upper shoulder, inhale, and then exhale, and to the other side, forming that diagonal line as best as you can. And inhaling center, and exhaling diagonal line, and reaching, breathing out. Inhale center, and exhale. So you may notice you're using muscles at the waist, and a little bit of movement into the knees, ankles, very small. But this stretch right here under the arm and in between the ribs of the rib cage, this is where it feels really good. And come back to center. And again, drop the hands, let the arms sink down with gravity. And let's just bend the knees a little bit, shifting from side to side. Sometimes when we're in a standing posture for a long time, we find that the knees have locked a bit. So we want to keep the knees soft at all times. This helps loosen them up. And let's do this. Let's just shake the feet out a little bit. Because sometimes we find we're pressing down too hard. So let's open the legs just a little bit more, or whatever is comfortable for you. And we'll repeat from star into side angle pose. And see if you can go a little bit farther down your leg. And remember, your gaze is straight ahead. Inhaling and exhaling. Reaching and doing this thoughtfully with awareness so that you can feel the movement of the arms. You're aware of the shoulder joints moving. Sometimes I can even feel the air between my fingers. This really makes you much more alert to your body and your posture. And come back to center. Release the hands, the arms, the shoulders. The shoulder blades sink. And now let's heel toe in or step in just a little bit. And again, bend the knees. And you could shake the feet out a little. And then separate the feet to a fairly wide position. We're going to go right in from star into one of the warrior poses, Virabhadrasana. So I'm turning this foot out. This is my right foot. I'm bringing my right knee above the ankle. The toes are pointing to the end of the mat. Now what happens is that you can see my left shoulder and hip have come out, so I have to pull them back because I want to square my shoulders and my hips to the front of the mat. Bringing the knee above the ankle gives me a foundation. And then I can turn and look out over the hand and breathing in the posture and inhaling back to center and exhaling, turning your head, looking out over the other hand. And inhaling back to center, turn the foot in, relax the hands, the arms, the shoulders come down. Pause for a moment and breathe. And then turn. This is my left foot. If you're reversed, it's your right. Left leg turns out, the knee above the ankle. Reposition your other foot so that you feel you have a good wide stance or whatever comfortable for you so that you can balance. If you have your mat on top of a carpet, you may find it a little bit wobbly, and a standing position like this you could actually do on the floor. The sticky mat provides traction, so you'll have to see how whatever works for you. So the knee comes over the ankle. Once again, the arms come up. Now I have to adjust the shoulders and the hips so they're square to the front of my mat. And then I'm looking out over one arm, doesn't matter which arm. And breathe. Then inhaling as you turn your head back to center and exhaling, looking out over the other arm. Possibly your arms are starting to feel very heavy now, but hold the posture with the shoulders down. The neck is free. Inhale back to center. Turn the foot so both feet are forward. Release the hands, arms, and shoulders. Bend the knees, wiggle the feet around a little bit. And we'll come back into another version of warrior. This is my right foot out at 90 degrees, the knee above the ankle, the toes pointed toward the end of the mat. The other foot, the toes, I have them pointed forward. Some people turn the foot in. And technically, when you do this, this thigh bone should be parallel to the floor. Now that would mean you'd have to bring your foot way back out here as far as you could stretch. And I know that's difficult for some people. But what you're doing with the knee above the ankle is you're actually toning the muscles around the knee and into the quadriceps. So you're still getting some good benefits, even though your leg is not out as far as it might be. Arms out in T position, and then we're going to lean to one side, place the arm just so it touches on the leg. You're not going to put any body weight on it. And then bring the arm over the ear, and again looking straight ahead. And this takes some work now because your balance is off a little. And you're keeping the arm over the ear, and you're breathing. Now inhaling, we're going to lift the upper arm, straighten the bent knee, turn the foot in, and then lower the arm to your leg or your side. Reversing then, the toes out at 90 degrees, knee above the ankle. Reposition the other foot to a comfortable place. If you want to try with your feet a little bit farther apart, then pull the shoulder and the hip back so you're square to the mat. Beginning, of course, with the arms in T position. Place one arm lightly on your thigh. Bring the other arm over the ear or the cheek. Reach out through the fingertips. You don't need to bring the shoulder up under the ear. Think about that side angle stretch. A little bit different now because of this arm. Now lifting from the upper shoulder, inhale center, rotate the opposite foot in, and bring the arm down. Now either step your feet back together or heel toe back to center, and pause for a moment, standing with your hands in prayer position at the heart. Breathing deeply, pulling the air well down into your body. And when you exhale, you could open your mouth and let the air just flow right out. So you could breathe in and then out and go a big ha sound from the back of your throat. That often helps people relieve tension. And in a class, I see people yawning after they do that. Place your hands one on top of the other with the hands and the elbows at shoulder height. We're going to twist just a little bit. So breathe in. Now bringing the arms around to one side. Keep your eye on the elbow and the elbows at shoulder height. Exhaling. Now inhale back to center. Crossing center line, twist to the other side. Bring that elbow back as far as you can, eyes on the elbow, and then come back to center, inhaling. Exhaling as you twist, and inhaling back to center. Exhaling with the twist. So this gives a nice spinal twist. Back to center, and bring the hands above your head. Now here I'll see people leaning like this, so you want to avoid that. Try to keep the hands right above your scalp, elbows bent and pull back. Now reach up and inhale and lower down and exhale. And inhale up. And exhale, lower. Now we'll add a twist to it. So bring the hands up, breathe in. Exhale, turn the hips to the right, the rib cage. Pull the right shoulder back. Turn your head so your face is probably looking inside of the arm. And let your eyes look to the right corners. As much as possible, try to avoid letting the arms float forward. Inhale back to center. Crossing center line, exhale, twisting around, the hips turn, the rib cage, the shoulders, the head, then the eyes look over the shoulders. And try to lift the hands right above the head. Inhaling center. Exhaling and twist. And inhaling center. And exhaling twist. And back to center. You're going to reach up, reach out, and let the hands sink down. And let the tension drain off the neck, shoulders, down the arms. You can even shake that tension right off your fingertips. Now place your hands inside of your elbows, feet hip distance apart, lower your seat. We're coming into Uttanasana, the standing forward bend. Breathe in and breathing out. Let the air out slowly, the chin to the chest, knees are bent deeply, hinge forward from the hips. Let the arms encircle your head. And the first time I do a standing bend during the day, I make sure my knees are deeply bent. And I go into it very slowly because you want to take care of those lower back muscles. And gently stretch out the calves and the backs of the thighs, the hamstrings. Now on your next out breath, pull your navel back toward the spine, lift the hip bone slightly, and you may drop forward a little bit more, keeping your eyes looking through between the legs. Now release the hands to the floor and place the hands lightly on your legs. Now firm the buttocks, walk the hands up, begin tucking the tailbone under, uncurl the spine, roll the shoulders back into place, stand tall in Tadasana, and scan your body. Notice how you feel. You may feel more energy. You may feel like your circulation's improved. You might feel a little bit warmer. Check your posture. Do you feel stronger in the standing pose? Do you feel taller? However it is that you feel, be a non-judgmental witness. You're just observing and you're noting for now and for the future. We're going to take a break for just a moment. Then we'll return to Cherry Blossom Yoga. We'll be on the floor, so please join me. We'll be back in a moment.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. You can't control where the ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Welcome back to Cherry Blossom Yoga. Come join me on the floor. We're going to sit with our legs out in a wide V, and if you have a folded blanket or towel, you can sit right on the edge of the fold and elevate your hips, because we're going to do some stretches that will affect the groin. So I'm going to try to get myself situated here. And bring the legs out, straight out in front of you. So we're going to make fists of the feet, fists of the hands. Breathe in and exhale. Separate the fingers, separate the toes, push the hands away, push the balls of the feet away. Inhale, fists. And exhale, let your mouth drop open. You can even let your eyes go really wide. Now we're going to cross right foot over left and turn the feet outwards so that we're working on the hip joints here. Left foot over right and then open and right over left. This is a very, very gentle exercise to help keep your joints moving smoothly. And now bring the legs out into a wide V. I'm moving, I'm scooting, so I'm right on the thickest part of the fold. I'm going to separate the legs using my hands. Now I'm turning both feet in and turning both feet out and in and out. So you're going to feel it differently into the hip joint by separating the legs. Take your time, don't rush. And then end with the feet slightly flexed. This would be a really strong flex like this. You can let the feet relax like this. Now sit tall, turn toward one leg. So it's the rib cage that's rotating. And walk your hands down. And just breathe. And each time you exhale, see if you can sink just maybe a fraction of an inch closer to your leg. Try to keep the toes pointed upward even though they're not flexed, the ankle's not flexed hard. So we're leaning down, relaxing, sinking down into the posture. You can do this on your own and just do it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes on each side. It's also helpful to the lower back to do this. So I'm sliding down the other leg. And breathing and sinking down and come back to center. Let's turn the feet in and out again. And then you can repeat what we just did by sliding down the leg, or if you bring, this is my left leg, my left arm tucks inside of the leg. I'm going to keep the hand on the floor for now. And then bring the right hand up as high as I can on the rib cage and point the thumb toward my navel. Then I pull the right shoulder and right elbow back. And then I'm really pressing into the inside of the left leg. Turning the head, I'm now looking out over and around the shoulder and breathing. And releasing very slowly, coming back to center, and now coming down on the other side. So I'm going to tuck the arm in, and also one side will definitely be easier than the other, so don't worry about that. So I'm pressing the right arm into the right leg, left hand on top, thumb pointed toward the navel, then I'm turning the head left, pulling the shoulder back, looking over the shoulder. And now release very slowly, come to center, and we'll do just a couple of minutes of relaxation. You can do this seated or flat on your back. I'm going to recite a breathing exercise for you from Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. In, out. Breathing in, I know I am in the present moment. Breathing out, I know it is a wonderful moment. Present moment. Wonderful moment. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you're feeling wonderful, and I hope you carry that feeling with you into your day, into your week, and into your life. Namaste.